Cartier or Van Cleef?
Van Cleef or Cartier?
I love both of them.
It's the Cartier Panther.
My favorite Van Cleef?
I'm the hugest Cartier fan.
The most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't stop shaking.
When you think of timeless elegance, few names come to mind quite like Cartier and Van Cleef and Arpels. Both French, both iconic, and both masters of their craft. Yet their styles, philosophies, and legacies couldn't be more different. Today we're deep diving into the world of high jewelry to explore the differences between Cartier and Van Cleef and Arpels. From their history and craftsmanship to signature collections and celebrity appeal, we'll leave no gemstone unturned. So whether you're a collector, a future buyer, or simply a lover of beautiful things, this is the ultimate comparison of Cartier versus Van Cleef and Arpels. Let's start at the beginning. In the heart of Paris, Cartier was founded in 1847 by Louis-Francois Cartier. Over time, it became known as the jeweler of kings and the king of jewelers. Its reputation for bold innovation and royal commissions made it a powerhouse in the world of luxury. In contrast, Van Cleef and Arpels began in 1906, born from a love story, the marriage of Estelle Arpels and Alfred Van Cleef. Their union created a brand rooted in romance, fantasy, and an eye for nature's beauty. While Cartier was designing for stars and socialites, Van Cleef and Arpels were telling stories through jewelry, fairy tales, ballet, poetry, and crafting a sober, more feminine aesthetic. Two brands, two visions, but each with a legacy that shaped Europeans' 20th century jewelry design. While both Cartier and Van Cleef and Arpels are revered for luxury, their visual language couldn't be more different. Cartier's style is architectural, bold, and timeless. The house embraces strong lines, symmetry, and a sense of precision, often drawing inspiration from art, geometry, and exoticism. One of its most enduring symbols is the Panthère de Cartier, sleek, powerful, and seductive. First introduced in 1914, the Panthère became synonymous with Cartier's boldness.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you here is the Cartier Panther watch.
So the Panther watch comes in three sizes: the mini, the small, and the medium. The mini is 18 millimeters, the small is 23, and the medium is 27 millimeters.
Other signature collections like the Love Bracelet and the Juste un Clou, which is a nail-shaped bangle, showcase Cartier's knack for transforming simple ideas into icons of modern elegance.
You just press this and this box opens up. And as you can see, it says Cartier. And this is where the bracelet will sit. So it's the beautiful nail head design, as you see, where this is the head of the nail. And here is the end of the nail. There are a couple little notches in terms of the design here.
So there's going to be one screw that you just need to turn 90 degrees. And when that screw is in that vertical position, the bracelet is unlocked and you just pull and it opens.
These designs are often gender neutral, minimalist, and statement making, perfect for those who want their jewelry to stand the test of time and speak volumes. In contrast, Van Cleef and Arpels is more inspired by nature, magic, and movement. Their pieces often feel like miniature works of fantasy. The most famous motif is the Alhambra clover. Introduced in 1968, it represents luck, elegance, and understated grace, and is arguably one of the most copied designs in modern jewelry. Other collections like the Frivole and its mirror-polished flower petals or the butterfly series showcase Van Cleef's ability to breathe life into gold and gemstones. Where Cartier aims for bold sophistication, Van Cleef and Arpels leans into whimsy and craftsmanship, especially in their high jewelry creations like fairy brooches and zodiac-themed pieces. Next, let's go behind the scenes to explore the craftsmanship and ingenuity that define both of these brands. Cartier has long been known as a master of design engineering. Its pieces, particularly watches and structured bracelets, are known for its precision, durability, and form. From the Santos de Cartier, one of the first wrist watches ever made, to the revolutionary locking system of the Love Bracelet, Cartier's designs often fuse function with fashion. Their workshop techniques include fine pavé settings, geometric stone arrangements, and complex mechanical designs for watches and kinetic jewelry. Even in high jewelry, Cartier leans towards towards technical perfection, often combining bold gem selections with architecture-like settings. Where Cartier focuses on power and precision, Van Cleef and Arpels brings artistry and emotion. Their most legendary innovation is the mystery set, a technique so intricate it takes hundreds of hours and only a handful of artisans can perform it.
Je suis lapidaire depuis 39 ans, j'ai commencé en 73, j'ai commencé le Certi mystérieux en 80. Le Certi mystérieux, on le fait principalement en rubis, c'est la pierre la plus flatteuse pour ce genre de travail.
They've also pioneered mechanical marvels like the poetry of time watches, where ballerinas and flowers mark the hours with grace. Van Cleef is also renowned for transforming necklaces into bracelets and clip brooches into pendants, all through modular design that adds storytelling and versatility. I thought it might be interesting to discuss what turns a luxury item into a cultural icon. So let's look into the crown jewels, the most iconic collections from both brands. First, for Cartier, we have the Love Bracelet. First released in 1970s, the Cartier Love Bracelet has turned out to be a cultural phenomenon. Designed by Aldo Capullo, it symbolizes commitment, literally locking onto the wrist with a mini screwdriver. Worn by everyone from Meghan Markle to Kylie Jenner, it's understated yet deeply symbolic, and is now available in yellow, rose and white gold, with or without diamonds, and it's become somewhat of a universal token of luxury. Cartier's Juste and Clou collection transforms a humble nail into a modern masterpiece, symbolizing rebellion and elegance at once. It's edgy, minimal, and unmistakably Cartier. The panther motif is bold, feline and elegant, and has been Cartier's muse for over a century. From rings and bangles to watches and brooches, it's become a signature of strength and seduction. Van Cleef and Arpels' most iconic collections include the Alhambra. Perhaps the most recognizable of all, the Alhambra clover, introduced in 1968, is a motif that stands for luck, harmony and timeless grace. It's subtle enough for everyday wear and is so popular that we see it duped and mimicked all over the internet. It is not uncommon to see dupes of the Alhambra collection sold at places like Amazon and Shein.
Okay, so I've been wanting to order the Van Cleef for a while now and I finally jumped on it. This was $20. And yeah, you can't beat it.
Now let's compare the actual contents, which are these two bracelets. Both pieces are meant to be yellow gold in the original condition. However, the left side appeared a little bit more rosy than the right, which is the super fake one.
There are some jewelry wearers who have even commissioned this style from their local jeweler. The Frivole collection is delicate, radiant and joyful. It brings flowers to life in mirror polished gold and diamonds. Unlike Cartier's sleek lines, Van Cleef plays with softness, curves and light in an attempt to capture the essence of spring in every piece. From fairy brooches to celestial zodiac pendants, Van Cleef's high jewelry line is a fantasy novel in gemstones, almost like stories you wear. Cartier and Van Cleef and Arpels also each attract different kinds of clientele. Cartier is often chosen by those who love statement luxury, confident, polished and powerful. It's popular with both men and women thanks to its gender-neutral minimalist styles. Cartier's Love and Juste include bracelets are often worn stacked. Cartier also dominates the watch world, from the Balloon Blue and Santos to the Tank, worn by legends like Andy Warhol, Princess Diana and Rami Malek. Cartier lovers often gravitate towards clean lines and curated wardrobes. Van Cleef and Arpels, on the other hand, appeals to those who are maybe slightly more creative and value poetry and art. The Alhambra necklace has become a staple in the wardrobes of women who value grace. If you love VCA, you probably appreciate detail, history and the beauty in nature's smallest moments. But how do Cartier and Van Cleef and Arpels compare when it comes to price, resale and personal satisfaction? Entry-level pieces from both brands start from around the same range. A Cartier Love bracelet with no diamonds can start at around $5,000 to $7,000. A Juste and Clou ring starts at around $2,000 to $3,000, and high jewelry can cost tens of thousands to several $1 million. Cartier offers a wide spectrum of pricing, especially because of its watch collectors and unisex appeal. Van Cleef and Arpels, on the other hand, can set you back for about $4,500 to $6,000. A sweet Alhambra bracelet is usually priced at around $2,000 to $3,500, and high jewelry is often more expensive due to complexity and stone quality. Van Cleef's pricing is often higher at the high jewelry level, partly because of the labor-intensive techniques like the mystery step. In terms of resale value, Cartier has one of the strongest resale profiles in the luxury jewelry market. The Love bracelet in particular holds value and often appreciates, especially limited editions or vintage models. Van Cleef and Arpels pieces, especially the Alhambra and vintage collections, also retain value well but can be more niche depending on the material and condition. Cartier's brand recognition gives it a slight edge on the second-hand market, but Van Cleef's craftsmanship attracts collectors, which can drive up prices for rare pieces. Although Cartier and Van Cleef and Arpels have some similarities, their languages are quite different. One speaks with strength and clarity, and the other is more whimsical and arguably slightly more creative. So Cartier or Van Cleef? Let me know down in the comments which speaks to you, and don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications for more deep dives.